Okay, Robert, it's coming up. It's coming up, coming up. It's big, big, big.
I was just super nervous that I was going to lose it.
He ain't had his fish on 1 hour.
Every time it jumps out of the water and shakes its head, you think it's going to spit the hook out.
After a muscle-burning 90 minutes, the fish shows no signs of giving up.
Keep that rod down.
The tug-of-war pushes Robert to the edge of his stamina and strength.
My biceps felt like they were completely on fire. Every time you think you've got it pretty close to the boat, it's just going to take off again and rip off more line. You're getting more and more tired, and it just doesn't seem like a fish is.
Oh, God. My knees. Just hang on what you can.
Robert refuses to give in to dangerous fatigue. He knows if he relaxes for a moment, he could end up in the water.
I was probably 145 pounds, so, if I had, mishandled the rod or done something wrong, it definitely could have pulled me over.
He was screaming, he was yelling. I mean, he was pumped up, and he never broke. The kid did an outstanding job finding that fish. As good as any man I've ever had on my boat, professionals included. Take your time. You got him now. You got him.
At last, the tired tarpon slows down. Working fast, Captain Mike maneuvers the boat to bring the fish alongside. Robert gives a massive pull. They've got it. The fishermen can't believe its size.
You see something that's over twice as big as what you're expecting, and you don't really even know what to make of it. It's almost weird looking. It's so huge.
But to measure it, they still have to get it safely to the boat's edge. Captain Mike takes charge. He gaffs the tarpon carefully. Done right, it'll keep the fish in place without causing serious harm. Getting it on board's a mission impossible.
Oh, God. How are you going to get him in the boat?
Up close at last, it's massive. An incredible 113 centimeters around and more than 2 meters long. Using a standard sport fishing weight formula, Captain Mike estimates the fish at 97.5 kilos. If he's correct, it makes it the largest tarpon ever caught off the coast of Texas.
As we're calculating this thing on the boat, it's just like, oh my gosh, we've got something that's bigger than anything anyone else has ever caught here.
Releasing the gaff, the mammoth tarpon swims safely away.
He's gone.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Catch a fish of that quality. It truly was. It was Moby Dick.
This is the most impressive fish I'm ever going to catch in my entire lifetime.
Tarpon anglers hope for more record catches, but most recognize this trophy fish may be in trouble. And so is the tarpon's wetland nesting ground. Wetlands are areas where water covers soil or rises close to the soil's surface. In places like Galveston, Texas, rapid development decimates more wetlands each year. Fishermen see the loss firsthand. Even half a century ago, tarpon were abundant.
There was a time where it didn't make any difference because there was so many of them. They were like buffalo. But it ain't like that no more. And if something's not done to protect them, they won't be in.
Across the country, hundreds of wetland fish species are threatened. But efforts by the U.S. Geological Survey and others to conserve wetlands may help. Reflooding, replanting, and rerouting swamp waters could restore a vanishing habitat. For tarpon fishing, catch and release is enforced with strict quotas, restrictions, and limited licensing. Most anglers support this effort, doing their part to save big fish for future generations. In the worlds of monster fish, they're fabled and feared killers. Massive, armed with whiskers that work like a secret weapon, the Piraiba.
Think of a Volkswagen with gigantic 3-foot-long whiskers coming out of its face.
They're colossal kings of the Amazon. In Brazil, they're known as motherfish. Piraiba are one of the largest catfish on Earth, with record breakers stretching over 3.5 meters long, weighing a scale-busting 200 kilograms. There's no bigger catfish in the Amazon basin. Here, Piraiba rule the deep, feeding with intimidating strength and speed.
Piraiba are dominant predators in these big, deep canals in the larger parts of the Amazon River. in order to be able to handle the currents, they've got to be big, powerful swimmers.
In addition to strong muscle, Piraiba are stealth hunters armed with a sensory arsenal. 90-centimeter long whiskers covered with taste buds. Piraiba taste buds are so sensitive they work like homing devices, picking up traces of prey in the water, helping Piraiba to hunt blind and grow bigger with each meal.
They'll move in the murky water where other animals who may be depending on vision are at a disadvantage, and the Piraiba doesn't need to be able to see to find its prey.
It all adds up to a whopper fish with a killer advantage. Catching giant Piraiba is an adrenaline rush if the angler's up for the fight.
Anyone who likes a challenge would get a big thrill hooking these brutes of Brazil.
July 2006, Brazil's Amazon River Basin. Pro fisherman Jair Rigotti has an obsession, hooking a giant Piraiba. But Amazon whoppers don't come easy. For 4 days, Jair, his guide, and a friend wait for a bite, with no luck. Jair's about to give up. He decides to drop one last bait fish into one of the narrowest parts of the river, a popular Piraiba hunting ground. Suddenly, Jair feels a strong tug on the line. He knows from experience, it's a giant.
When I felt the fish bite, I said, "It's her! It's her!"
Jair braces himself against the leviathan below, but the fish fights even harder. The fishing reel lets off line in a rush.
It took off like a shot. Line was running out, and we were racing to keep up with the fish, who took out nearly 150 meters of line.
As seen in this video, the powerful Piraiba is so strong, it drags Jair's boat downriver. Jair does his best to hang on.
It was very difficult. The line was running out. I was trying to hold on, but he was pulling the boat, so we had to turn the motor on just to keep up with the fish. It was a very hard fight.
Suddenly, the whopper tries a new strategy. It dives down to the river bottom, hiding among dead trees and branches. The fish won't budge.
I said, "My God, if I can't pull it out, I'm going to lose it."
The angler gets a novel idea. Noise. He asks nearby boats to make a racket, hoping it'll spook the fish.
I said, "Come on, get in front of the branches. Hit your boats. Rev your engines. Hit your boats with your feet."
The noisy plan works. Within minutes, the spooked Piraiba is back on the move. As the tug-of-war wears on, Jair's becoming increasingly exhausted, but he's now a star attraction. As a crowd roots him on, everyone wants to see what's underwater. Jair doesn't dare quit. At the breaking point, Jair tries a final plan. Risky fishing pole surgery. He reaches past the tangle using a second rod to pull up the free end of the fishing line. A fellow angler grabs the line tightly, cuts it free, and ties it to a new rod. Jair channels his strength into the final fight. Last, after 2 excruciating hours, he gets the fish to the surface. It's massive. A giant Piraiba caught. The guide ties a rope knot around the beast's tail. The crew pulls the fish to shore. The monster measures over 2 meters long with an